Love him or hate him, it's undeniable that Donald Trump has blown the most favorable tailwind into the cryptocurrency economy that we have seen in quite a while. At the time of this recording, Bitcoin has currently reached an all-time high of $89,000. And I just want to take a moment to congratulate those of you who have been following my content since 2017, since 2018, who stuck with me through the bear market, who stuck with me through the bull markets. Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived. And I think we are witnessing the beginning of one of the most beautiful legs of a cycle that might last more than any time before. All right. This cycle might have us, honestly, for the last, as long as I can remember, we have relied on this 4-year cycle thesis. People have talked about plan B, stock to flow, all of these types of indicators. I think we now have, like we've seen before in the past, we have a tsunami of shifting tides, shifting sands in front of us that are going to make many of us rethink as analysts how we project Bitcoin's price out into the future, how we evaluate different projects, and just basically how we go about doing what we're doing. We are witnessing the beginning of the United States of America really take cryptocurrency and Bitcoin into its bosom and just nestle it like a baby that it loves so much, and just help it grow and flourish. We are at the forefront of potentially witnessing a complete restructuring of cryptocurrency regulation, and the knockdown effect from just having a president of the most powerful country in the world behind Bitcoin cannot be understated. So, love him or hate him, we certainly have some favorable tailwinds today. All right, just going off, my post on Twitter where I talk about this. Obviously, we have to get kind of the first thing out of the way. All right, I understand, and I had the same, difficulties as I'm sure many of you might do. There are, of course, those who are going to be opposed to Donald Trump's social agenda. All right, for example, the transgender issue, immigration, and abortion. But as I say in this post, if you are able to look past that, if you disagree with him, if you're able to look past that, then what you're going to see is that Donald Trump himself and his team that he's assembled are hardline, free market, libertarian-minded individuals that want to massively reduce the size and scope of the federal government. And that is the only thing, as libertarians know, that is the only thing that empowers individuals more. The bigger government gets, the less powerful the individual gets. The smaller the government gets, the more powerful the individual gets. So let's talk about some of the very positive things that could potentially come from Trump's presidency and his official stance on crypto. Let's go through here. So as I say, this could be the biggest political and cultural revolution that I've witnessed in my entire life. I have constantly advocated for the reduction in the size and scope of government since I started creating content in 2016. And I have consistently advocated for Bitcoin as a key part in the revolution since that time as well. Well, here we are. All right. So when we contemplate the immediate effects of Bitcoin, the most notable thing would be the inclusion of Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset, something that Donald Trump has stated that he wants to do. Let's take a look at this article from Forbes titled Orange Shift, Bitcoin and U.S. Policy in Trump's Second Term. So the author of this goes on to list that the new administration's first priority should be to announce that the digital asset industry is here to stay and that banks should feel confident that the federal government will not stand in their way of working with financial innovators. So this is really good, reversing this process of debanking that has hindered financial innovation. And then let's see here, installing leadership among the most key regulatory agencies like the Federal Reserve, the FDIC, the SEC, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Yeah, of course, get those anti-crypto people out of there and put pro-crypto people in. Absolutely, absolutely. All right, now going down a little bit to this section titled Strategic Bitcoin Reserve Securing U.S. Dominance. The author states, perhaps the most transformative initiative on the horizon comes out of Congress, the Bitcoin Act of 2024, which would establish a U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve. This was introduced to Congress by Republican Senator Cynthia Lummis This law would position Bitcoin as a reserve asset akin to the role of gold in previous eras, solidifying America's role as a leader in the emerging global digital economy. Absolutely fantastic. So let's go back to my post here. Okay. The first thing this would do is this would be a massive shift for the United States to say, no, listen, guys, we believe in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to be around. Cryptocurrency is the way of the future. That's massive. That signals to every other nation state that they need to copy along, that they need to follow along. So not only and we're already seeing this, right? What do you think all this buying is? Do you think that there are no nations out there that are front running the Bitcoin strategic reserve? That's one of the biggest narratives that we're seeing on X right now, that we're seeing. Everyone knows that a Bitcoin strategic reserve is coming. So the government is going to be buying. So people are front running the government buying so that they can get the gains. Of course, this is simple trading. All right. But this really does fundamentally change the landscape for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency moving forward. Prices would steadily climb higher and higher as other countries, central banks, and institutions are going to rush to diversify a portion of their portfolio into Bitcoin as well. You're going to see more companies follow along with Michael Saylor's strategy, for example, of adding Bitcoin as a reserve asset in their portfolio. And it would also positively reduce. I mean, this is a huge thing. Of course, going back, we've got, if you're into crypto and you're following this channel, you are likely, I got a key demographic that I appeal to, and you are likely very well aware of the creature from Jekyll Island, the creation of the Federal Reserve. You are likely against the institution of the Federal Reserve and against the idea of central banking in general. And in that, there's a lot of different beliefs and types of people who can meet at the road on that issue, on the idea that, of course, you've got these modern monetary theorists, people running around, but essentially at the end of the day, you're going to have this juxtaposition of classical liberals, conservatives, and libertarians that are going to meet on this unsatisfaction with the Federal Reserve. Now, that can get complicated on the conservative side, because if you go back again to the original argument and idea for central banking, you're going to, those are not bad arguments, all right? They're not bad arguments. And there's especially influential or strong arguments to somebody with a conservative mindset, because the idea of having a strong centralized bank versus kind of a weak decentralized network. And that is why we had multiple bank failures. We had multiple failed institutions, multiple failed attempts at a U.S. national bank prior to the Federal Reserve Act of 1913. And now we have the central bank, which, so far has not yet failed. But again, we have all this criticism at the central bank. You can't run the simulation a different way. Like, would America be a better place if we had not gone the way of the Federal Reserve Bank? Would have the negatives of having a centralized bank, have the negatives of having a central bank in the United States of America outweighed the cons that we would have had from individual problems with banks? I fall on the issue of probably not. I fall on the issue of instituting a central bank was us succumbing to the European model. The European model has now flung full-blown into socialism, which America, on principle, stands objected to. Like, America does not idealize socialist principles. So again, but I think a lot of people can certainly meet in the middle with the idea that the Federal Reserve, as it is right now, wields far too much power and has become politicized and is being used as a political weapon. So definitely having Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset reduces the government's reliance on other reserve assets like dollars, bonds, and even gold. Okay. So this is also going to increase our financial independence, giving our administration, giving our American institutions a bit of a buffer, again, from the central bank's influence and zone. All right. So that's on the Bitcoin strategic reserve front. Now, what about other cryptocurrencies? What about regulation in general? Because that's what we need. A sweeping and comprehensive overhaul of regulation is what is completely needed. We need firm guidance, clear regulatory framework for cryptocurrency innovators, developers, everyone to navigate within confidently. This would give larger financial institutions the confidence to invest and bank cryptocurrency companies, innovators, entrepreneurs, which is exactly what we need. We need for the reins to come off, for the shackles to come off, and for innovators, developers, everyone, end users to know that they are moving forward in a legal way. All right? Get these people out of the shadows, man. Get these people out of the shadows. So this is going to encourage that. This is exactly what I say in my X post here. This is going to encourage the largest possible comprehensive regulatory framework for crypto, making the environment much safer. And that we would also see, and I think we're going to see this very, very quickly. All right. The Trump administration is moving at light speed to fulfill its promises made during the campaign. And I think, again, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that I'm right. I hope that we are about to see one of the biggest political and cultural revolutions ever. And if we can, if nothing else, if the Trump administration can accomplish just a small portion of what they hope to set out to, I think we can see a massive reduction in the size and scope of federal government. I think we can see a large empowerment of the private individual. I think we can see a massive boost in private business. And I think we can see another American Renaissance. I believe that. All right. So probably the first and most effective and quickest change that we could see that could be done without a lot of difficulty, moving a lot of the jurisdiction away from the SEC and to the CFTC. This would do two things. One, it would immediately put most cryptocurrencies into a much more favorable regulatory agency into their jurisdiction. The CFTC is far more crypto friendly than the SEC. And secondly, it really opens up the gateways for most cryptocurrencies to be designated as commodities and not securities. And once that happens, I mean, the floodgates just really open up. This is going to improve, as I write here, this is going to massively improve confidence from investors and unshackle developers to innovate and improve on protocols. All right, this will allow tokens to be able to effectively capture and distribute value within their protocols or their ecosystems. No more, again, there's all this controversy about yield farming and investing in coins long term. And so the game has been for years, don't lock up your tokens because you cannot trust the platform, because you know that the project is very much likely not going to be around or at such a high value in 2 years or 3 years or 4 years when your coins that you're going to lock up would become unvested. And so, and this is just because we've been operating in this hot potato, uncertain regulatory framework and that encourages things like, maximizing profit at this one instance, right? Because the faith that we're going to be around in 4 years, even from the developer side, even though they probably want to build something amazing, is just not there. That confidence is just not there. But once you move crypto and you give them the green light, and you as a country and you as a governing authority look down and you say, hey, we got your back. You're good to go. Go innovate, go develop, go be amazing, go create awesomeness. That creates long-term incentives for these projects to really innovate and to really create these kind of hypothetical, idealized ideas of cryptocurrency where, you can buy the token, and unlike a pyramid scheme, you can actually invest in something where you will continue to get paid dividends or its value will continue to go up in time without requiring the Ponzi-nomics that have just been the mainstay of cryptocurrency that we've been seeing. All right, and because of this, things like governance tokens are going to become more attractive to investors. All right, you actually are, because you're going to have confidence that what you're investing in is going to be around in 4 years. Now you want a piece of that governance. You want a say in making protocol decisions, platform decisions. So governance tokens become more attractive. Banks reopen their doors for crypto on and off ramping. We also see, again, loans being given out, private business loans being given out to cryptocurrency entrepreneurs. I think we're about to see, again, like the second wave, like we saw it in, I think for me, it was 2017, but it was probably 2021 if you really crunch the numbers. But just to me, visually, what I was seeing it a lot. To me, I felt it more in 2017 than I did in 2020, 2021. But just this rush of new projects being developed, and not just developed, but invested in. And I just saw that. To me, that was much more tangible in 2017. Again, the numbers would probably suggest, or probably prove definitively, that it was actually 2021, 2020, where there were far more projects being developed and invested in, I grant you. But again, just for me, where I felt that most acutely was the 2016, 2017 market cycle. And likely, this is a kind of a side note, but likely as we start to see this increased positive regulatory framework, we're going to see a shift from privately issued stablecoins to bank issued stablecoins. I think that's just going to come along with the environment. And that's probably going to be one of those more controversial things. Because again, you have people out there saying like, no, look, Tether's doing a great job. USDC is doing a great job. Let these private companies continue to circulate their private currencies. I just think that realistically, that's probably going to be, a shift that we're going to see, because with the compliance regulatory framework of crypto good, you're going to see more institutions like banks. I mean, plans for CBDCs have been floated around for years now. We know that's the direction that banks want to go in. JP Morgan had their JP Morgan coin. We covered this years and years ago. So this is absolutely a direction that banks are going to want to move towards, issuing their own bank denominated stable coins, which again, pros and cons, but that's probably an easy compromise to accept. And for me, this is the biggest thing. Hopefully, we start to see U.S. citizens get included in the activities that we have so long been denied. Futures trading, margin, leverage, pre-sales. We want it all. We want on the early access list. We want VIP level 6. No more restricted countries. Open crypto up and let us back in. And that is what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. I believe that is going to happen. And I think that's going to happen quickly, because crypto already moves at lightning speed. The fastest development happens in crypto, period. We're the front of the front. And once we get the green light from the government that, hey, we're good to go, you're going to see all these, again, next, ByBit, all these companies that had previously been like, nah, America, they're going to come for us. Once America's like, hey, crypto's cool, bam. The only way I guess I could see this not going, though, since Trump does lean, protectionist, isolationist to a degree. Well, I mean, he embodies some of those ideals, which those aren't bad things, but it's such a stark, he's not even full isolationist, but he's so much more isolationist than the Democrats have been, that it is probably going to be felt like a tidal shift, like towards, clamping down and America first. That's the idea of America first. So anyways, the only way I could see this not exactly playing out like that, I'm confident that it will play out to a degree like that very strongly, but we could get some more nuance in there where the Trump administration is like, hey, crypto, yes, good, but we're really only focused on crypto in America. So, we'll give you maybe tax breaks or tax credits or something like that, some kind of incentive to develop in cryptocurrency, for example, to start up a business in cryptocurrency, to launch something. So something like that. But I could see them perhaps not being so favorable with for example, like East Asian crypto companies, so that buffer still remains up, which just means that what we would then see is, okay, so ByBit's not going to open its doors back open to Americans, but what we are going to see is American competition. We'll see actual good American exchanges with leverage and futures and margin and all that stuff. And hopefully the SEC can just back the heck up, which I think they will once Trump acts as Gary Gensler, which day one, get rid of Gary Gensler. Come on, man. All right. A few more things. Let's see here. So the Trump transition team is moving quickly to make good on the message he sent during his victory speech. Promises made, promises kept. So yesterday, Trump announced on his Truth Social, he says here, I am pleased to announce that former ICE director, and stalwart on border control, Tom Homan, will be joining the Trump administration in charge of our nation's border, the border czar. See what he did there? Yeah. Including, but not limited to, the southern border, the northern border, all maritime and aviation security. I've known Tom for a long time, and there is nobody better at policing and controlling our borders. Likewise, Tom Homan will be in charge of all deportation of illegal aliens back to their country of origin. Congratulations to Tom. I have no doubt he will do a fantastic and long way for job. So, of course, if you are getting your news from me, thank you. But yes, absolutely. So first things first here, Tom Homan's savage, and the Trump administration is absolutely that seems to be their number one priority right now is following through on the pledge that they made to deport illegal immigrants and to close the border until our immigration crisis is solved. So if you're not familiar with Tom Homan, here's him having an exchange with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
You're not the author, but you signed the memo.
Yes, a zero tolerance memo.
So you provided the official recommendation to Secretary Nielsen for the United States to pursue family separation.
I gave Secretary Nielsen numerous recommendations on how to secure the border and save lives.
But it says here that you gave her numerous options, but the recommendation was
You're gonna
option
watch your
3,
brain break
family
here in a second.
separation.
What I'm saying, this is not the only paper where we've given the Secretary numerous options to secure the border and save lives.
And so the recommendation, of the many that you recommended family separation,
I recommend a zero tolerance.
which includes family separation.
The same as is with every U.S. citizen parent gets arrested when they're with a child.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father
Mr.
from his
Holman,
family.
with all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
When you're into the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum and go through the port of entry, do it the legal way. The Attorney General of the United States has made
Her brain. Okay, so yeah, so Tom, I mean, and making some good arguments there. I mean, yes, this is a man absolutely dedicated to his job. Let's look at probably this is the most controversial clip going around about Tom Homan right here.
We have seen one estimate that says it would cost $88 billion to deport 1 million people a year.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Is that what American taxpayers should expect?
What price do you put on national security? Is that worth it?
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
I mean, that's the most savage take I've seen. That's savage. And one final one. Yeah, he's definitely not scared of anybody. Look at him just completely, I mean, humiliate this speaker.
Please respect the chair's authority. The
I respect the chair's authority, but the chair...
Mr. Holman!
But you work for me. I'm a taxpayer. I'm a taxpayer. You work for me.
The witness will suspend. Please respect the chair.
Yeah, so definitely not afraid of Congress whatsoever. Okay, so let's see what we got here. All right, Trump's already also confirmed his chief of staff, the UN ambassador, and Secretary of State as Tulsi Gabbard. I hope I have that correct. All right, so let's get into the cryptocurrency markets. We talked about what a Trump presidency, all the benefits that are going to come to cryptocurrency potentially. So let's actually go look at the markets and see how things have responded today. But before that, ladies and gentlemen, I know that if you're an American, Canadian, or anyone else in a generally restricted country, the latest anti-crypto stance from our current administration has probably pushed you out of your favorite futures or leverage trading platform. Okay? Certainly, we were all devastated with the closure of JumpX, but I have been trading on ByDFi for the last several months. I have officially partnered with them, and I have absolutely loved the experience. Right now, we have a new promotion where new users who sign up to ByDFi will receive 10% of their deposits as cashback trading bonuses. Okay? This is good up to $1,000. So the maximum you could deposit and get 10% cash back on is $10,000. So for example, you deposit $1,000, you immediately get an extra $100 trading bonus to trade with, leverage up, make your gains, go speculate on Doge, go 50x long on Doge, whatever you're trying to do. Anyways, this promotion, and by the way, it's a 7-day period. All right. So sign up to ByDFi, see if you like it. You will. And your net deposits over 7 days will be counted toward that cashback exchange. All right. Again, it's a maximum of $1,000. Also, effective immediately, anybody who signs up to ByDFi with my link will now automatically get VIP level 1 fee discounted advantaged account. All right. This will apply retroactively to anybody who's already signed up with my link to ByDFi. This is going to give you approximately 17% off your current trading fees, and it's going to double your 24-hour withdrawal limit as opposed to just going to ByDFi.com and signing up with a regular and signing up and getting a default regular account. Again, you can sign up with the link in the description. That would help support this channel and also give you access to an exchange that offers up to 200x leverage on its futures, not only USDT margined, but coin margin futures, leverage tokens, demo trading so you can trade without risking any capital, and 0% spot trading fees. Thank you to ByDFi for supporting this channel, and thank you for signing up with the link in the description below. And now, back to the markets. All right, starting off with our market dominance. Bitcoin currently at 60%. So that is a gain of about not 0.14. This was much more massive though, right before the daily closed. So this is the fresh day. So we closed the day at 59.91%. We can already see Bitcoin dominance jumping up just in a little bit since the daily closed. But that was an increase over Sunday of 1.55%. So big jump in Bitcoin dominance when you really think of the market capitalization required or the shifting of the dominance there. Ethereum. So again, Bitcoin dominance rising. We see Ethereum dominance closing out the day at 13.87. And that is a reduction of negative 2.56. So we are seeing, as Bitcoin had that massive spike today where we reached our new all-time high of 89K, we did see, of course, capital rotation shift out of the riskier assets, Ethereum, Solana, altcoins, and into Bitcoin. So again, we see the same thing from Solana dominance. Solana dominance closed at 3.58%. That's a drop of 2.58%. Altcoin dominance as well. Altcoin dominance actually grew a little bit, from 16.80 yesterday to 16.84. So not as much capital rotation out of the altcoins, but mostly from the big dogs, Ethereum and Solana. And of course, stablecoin dominance just continues to go down. All right, stablecoin dominance just continues to go down. All right, stablecoin dominance currently, what did we close at? Stablecoin dominance closed at, 5.79%. We are seeing that rebound a little bit as we are seeing some profit taking on the lower term timeframes, and we'll get to that here in a little bit. But overall, this tells, I mean, you really only need to look at the Bitcoin chart as to the narrative today. You know, Bitcoin had an incredible pump. I mean, it began surging as soon as traditional markets opened up this morning, and it has consistently rallied today to newer and newer all-time highs, now currently clocking at around 89,000. Market shares and other assets dumped and flew back into Bitcoin, but we continue to see diversification into altcoins as well, and we're seeing a little bit of profit taking right now as Bitcoin has hit such a milestone. All right, let's look at our ETF flows. All right. So again, we get this data one business day or one trading day behind. So for last Friday, we saw that we had a nice robust inflow of 293.4 million. So again, this really kind of shifted my fears because again, we are using ETF volume as a contrarian indicator, as we usually do when we see massive spikes in volume after a big movement. We want to be a little cautious that this is calling the top, because huge spikes in volume really indicate that retail is buying in whole hog, and that's really the end of it. Again, as I said towards the beginning of this video, we do need to reconsider that whole mindset now that we are in the grips. I mean, we've never seen anything like this. I mean, we literally have the president of the United States like basically chanting Bitcoin from the rooftops, and Elon Musk, you know, potentially his right-hand man next to JD Vance, is the Doge King. I mean, this is insane. And I mean, this is all thanks to Elon Musk. All right. I don't think Trump would have won without Elon Musk. And you know, I hope we're able to look back, you know, centuries from now, eons from now, and just be like, man, Elon Musk, that's the dude who got us off the planet and spread human colonization to the stars. You know, that's my dream. Again, that just goes back to Timothy Leary. One of Timothy Leary was an amazing man. And one of his key concepts was that we have to get off this planet, right? Being on this planet makes us susceptible to a civilization ending experience, right? And yeah, an extinction level event. And if we're just decentralized, if not all the humans are in one place, then when the dinosaur asteroid comes, we're good. The humans on Earth die, the humans on Mars, and the humans on Saturn, the humans on Titus, Phobos, we're good to go. All right, but we did see some nice robust inflows. Of course, we had one of the largest single inflows on Thursday of $1.3 billion just into the ETFs. But you know, Friday was nice and relaxed. That's cool. It's good that we didn't see it just absolutely go crazy. So that's I think a strong reason why we continue to have the pump. Although mainly the pump is just the excitement around the cryptocurrency markets. Now we can actually look at our weekly totals here, and we can see that while last week was good, it certainly wasn't one of the best performing weeks that Bitcoin's ever had. It's probably number 7. So we have the best, we can clearly see the top 5, and here's top 6. So yeah, we clocked in as, it was the 7th best week for ETF inflows that we had seen. But if we go to the daily, we can see that it was the biggest, that day, the 6th of November, the day after the election, was the largest daily inflow that we've seen in total. So we just weren't able to get there because we had some negative inflows earlier on in the week as the market was de-risking going into the election, and then of course started pumping on the day of the election, which is exactly what we saw in 2020. And yeah, so overall weekly inflows are good. Trend is up. Life is good. Looking at capital rotation, I mean, we're really seeing a theme here. The memes sprang back hard and fast today as traders just really doubled down on the meme coins, and particularly the Elon Musk inspired memes. All right, so we do see Elon Musk inspired, dog themed AI meme and pump fund ecosystem. So of course, pump fund, Solana memes, they're just going to be at the top. Now, I'm going to give you my recommendations because I'm pretty hard in the memes right now. And I'm going to give you my recommendation is, first off, I mean, memes have been the sector to chase for the last 6 months, maybe the last year. They've printed just so many millionaires, and that's where all the action has been. And again, if you can just, you got to step back when it comes to crypto. If you're looking for an edge that is not just purely technical, well, you first have to know what sector to pay attention to, because capital rotates between sectors, and there will usually be a narrative or several narratives. But you find your narrative that fits the current market, that is doing well, that projects that are under this narrative are performing very well, and find a project that you feel confident in. It's one of the keys to trading. When we're not talking about purely technical trading, and when you're looking for an edge, you're looking for a buy and hold asset, then you really need to go back and just have general investor knowledge, which is quality over quantity. You're going to save yourself so many bad decisions, restless nights, bad decisions, by simply purchasing and investing in things that you feel confident in for long-term growth. Now, what long-term growth is to you might be something different. So for example, I can say that I will buy Bitcoin at any price because I know that I feel very confident. I believe that it will be around when I am ready to go into the ground, that I will be able to pass my Bitcoin on to my children, because it is a financial and cultural revolution. It's a revolutionary asset. I don't feel that way about Ethereum. Ethereum will probably still be around because of all the people that are involved in it and all the things that it's done, all the things that it powers, but I just don't feel that confident the same way in Ethereum that I do as Bitcoin. Dogecoin right now, I think Dogecoin right now is as good as gold, all right? Because here's the thing. We've already crossed the barrier with Donald Trump winning the popular vote and Elon Musk and all of their actions being completely exonerated by the will of the people, by the nation hearing their voice, by the nation having their voice being heard. That even if Donald Trump or Elon Musk were to get assassinated, which is a very real threat, that would actually make them martyrs, and I think fan the flames even harder. And I think that if one of them were to get assassinated, I think we have a very real possibility of seeing something like a civil war and armed insurgency in the United States. So good for the bags, good for the bags. But again, my advice is put your money into things that you understand and believe in. All right. So figure out what your niche is, what your edge is. Is it at analyzing the socials? Is it at promoting the coin that you're investing in yourself? Is it at spotting the on-chain flows? Is it at spotting the technicals? But identifying the narrative is first and foremost what you need to do. Next, kind of my last piece of advice here, understand that you can't really pay attention to more than 5 positions. All right. Some are going to be super autists and can really pay attention to so many things going on out there. But for me, I really like to keep my portfolio small. I like to keep my picks small. So instead of sprinkling my money around, 10 different assets, for memes, I've just chosen one. Department of Government Efficiency. All right, I've been talking about that for about a week now. And I just bought more today, Money Monday. So pick something that you believe in the narrative, you're willing to see it through. Because, again, just being able to sit on your hands and hold on to your position is the only way that you're going to get those multiple X's without the insane risk of timing that you have to get, because again, the only other way to get those returns is going to be on leverage trading, and you're going to have to use a lot of risk. And the only issue I have with leverage trading for that goal is A, you're not going to be able to leverage trade most meme coins. Some you can, but two, you can leverage trade meme coins basically once they've done pumped, right? It's usually how it goes. But anyways, the issue is liquidation price. If you leverage trade on high leverage, on high margin, to try to compensate for not being able to hold something to 50x or 100x, then, I mean, price is going to swing so wildly on that asset that even if you're right, I mean, it's almost impossible to get it picture perfect timing where you buy it at a price that it's never going to go down like 2% from at 50x leverage and get you liquidated. So again, when it comes to memes, keep it spot, buy and hold. And I think, again, the vast majority of traders should be focusing on buy and hold or spot trading. All right, which is what I like about ByDFi so much, because they're really promoting the idea of portfolios. They're really promoting the idea of using their 0% spot. It's fantastic. All right. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin on the weekly. Now, we have reached my second price target. All right. I called these price targets out last week. All right. I said, hey, in the event the election doesn't, go in a crypto friendly way, these are going to be our first levels of resistance, but we're probably just going to plummet, right? But I laid out the conservative and the moderate price target. We have now fully completed and traded outside of the conservative measured move. And we've gone about halfway through the moderate price target. So I would not be surprised to see a pullback at this point in time. All right. Where it would be, a conservative pullback would be back to 81,000. A more steep pullback would be going back to 68, 69, 70, retesting the point of breakout. But I really don't feel that that's likely. I think we are going to continue to surge on. I think these tailwinds, are just too powerful. So I would expect to see, actually, if anything, just continued movement on up. Or consolidation here as capital rotates back into the outs. I mean, the feeding frenzy is so real right now that I would be very disappointed if this were to just, kind of flutter out. I really want to see, this is it. This is the crypto moment. This is our time. We need to see, your civic duty is to market by resistance. Let's go. So I do have our aggressive price target up here of approximately $113,000. So that's our next weekly target. The key things I want to point out here are, on our momentum oscillator, we have now poked our head into overbought territory, which, because of the tailwinds, because of the hype right now, I'm not too concerned about. Often when things are in a strong trend, something hitting overbought is, for me, a technical indication to double my position or to step on the gas, because that means things are about to really fly, which I think is the case here. Now, the more heartening thing for me, and what I'm really paying attention to, is BBWP on the weekly time frame. And as we can see here, we've got such room to grow. BBWP just coming out of low volatility following that consolidation that we had, nowhere near hitting overbought. We zoom this out, we can see, let's reset chart. Every significant Bitcoin top has coincided with very high BBWP volatility, and we're nowhere near that. We need to be around, 90%. And we are at 57. So we have such room to grow. So much more room to go for Bitcoin. I don't think we're anywhere near the end of this rally. All right. There we go. All right, that's the weekly time frame. On the daily time frame. Now, daily volatility is about to max out. All right? Daily volatility is maxing out. However, I want to point out that this is another reason why on the daily we are starting to get that signal. The daily momentum oscillator is overbought as well. We've now peaked out on volatility. That doesn't mean the rally has to stop immediately. Notice that let's go back to the last strong trend that we had. Not this, where Bitcoin was kind of consolidating, but back to the last strong Bitcoin trend that we had when Bitcoin went from 40,000 to back up to the all-time high of 72,000. If we look at what happened there, we maxed out in volatility, but we stayed that way for a good week and a half, almost 2 weeks, and Bitcoin continued to pump while BBWP gave us divergence. So I'm expecting something like that here. Of course, it's also very possible that, we've had a good week of pumps so far. basically. So again, a little pullback wouldn't be bad. On the daily time frame, I mean, very aggressive pullback target would be 85,793, the top of the fast EMA Guppy. If we did see something more, it'd be bringing us down to 76, which would be the bottom of the fast EMA Guppy swing. Totally fine. Now, we take the guppies off, we can just see that we're going to be loving this bullish trend. Currently, the CM Gann swing high low is at 71,000. So that would be our kind of invalidation area right there if we end up crossing below that level. So overall, daily looks good. 4 hour, again, we have maxed out volatility as well. We've gotten a couple of sell signals along the way. All of this is fine. I mean, volatility maxed out here and then we went sideways. So again, what I want to see is I want to see some consolidation at these higher prices. A slight pullback would be completely fine. Or just, again, Bitcoin just continuing on. It was the unstoppable honey badger that it is. Either is completely fine for me. But again, I would largely expect either immediate continuation or consolidation here while capital rotates back into alts. I mean, it is starting to see like we are going to see $100,000 Bitcoin before we see a significant pullback. Now, going to the lower time frames, we do have, again, overbought and sell signal as well. So again, not bad time for the short-term time traders out there. Take some profits, all that. We did see, we have now seen two significant periods of selling on the lower time frames. One came in around 1500 to 1600 Central Standard Time. And we've now seen the kind of the second phase come in. And this saw Bitcoin's price move down by about 2.2%. And we're now seeing the same thing happen over here with the last hour that we've seen following the daily close, where we do see price down about 3.33%. So we are starting to see some selling here. All right. And that's completely fine. So again, there's nothing wrong with stepping out of your position. I know this is America, so you want to sleep easy at night. Nothing wrong with stepping out of your position and just, aping back into it in the morning. That's completely fine. But, I'm doing life differently this cycle. All right. I'm going to believe. All right. Now, looking at our Minx strategy, this is our proprietary indicator. It's available to all of our clients in the Trading Academy. Minx just has absolutely crushed this. All right. I mean, it even got these shorts, right? When we passed below the 200 Hall moving average there for a while, because it caught a short here, and then told you to take profit here, which has actually got you out in profit on both of those. But since we breached the 200 Hall moving average on the 9th, right? We got our first first continuation long signal, our long signal, continuation long, and then finally telling us to take profit just 2 hours ago, which is interesting. Before the first pullback, and of course now before the second pullback. So just beautiful, chef's kiss job here on Minx. This is easily automated on your favorite platform or exchange. So again, if you're interested in the Minx strategy, definitely check out. Start off with the free Discord down in the description, or if you're ready to sign up for the Trading Academy, you can find that link down there as well. You'll get access to all of my daily analysis, all of my signals. Anytime I make a trade, you'll be notified. And you will also get access to all of our proprietary indicators and the best, the cherry on top, the absolute thing, the reason you should be coming there, all of our coursework in the Academy. Full instructions on how to build your own systems trading strategy from the ground up, even if you have no experience. All right. You don't know how to code. You don't know how to do anything. You don't know indicators. If you're bad at trading, this will take you and teach you absolutely everything I know and how to build your own strategy from the ground up. So definitely go check that out at crackingcryptocurrency.com, or you can find the direct link to the Academy down in the description. Thank you guys for watching so much. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. Your support and continued just everything has been absolutely incredible. This last week has been absolutely insane, and it's been a pleasure to continue to provide you guys my commentary, my insights, and my opinions on everything as the market continues to evolve. If you want to support the channel more, please make sure that you like and subscribe and share this to your fellow crypto traders, individuals who are looking for some guidance, who are looking for something a little bit more grounded out there in this chaotic environment. We will be back tomorrow, and I hope you guys have a safe and happy rest of your crypto trading day. Trade safely and learn something. Cheers now.